I tried starting a drop shipping store at age 64. Here's what I learned. Based on what I've just gone through, these are genuine lessons rather than just generic drop shipping advice. It's not nearly as passive as people make it sound. It's a lot of work to try and set it up. I thought I'd design a shirt, connect Printful, Etsy, and they'd take care of everything. Technically, that's true, but getting everything set up properly, products, graphics, variants, shipping, taxes, storefront descriptions was a lot more work than I expected. Second thing is the product cost isn't the price that matters, because what happens is the base price of the shirt, you think, oh, there's plenty of room for profit, but then you start adding in printing, shipping, Etsy fees, potential taxes. Suddenly a reasonably priced t-shirt is up to $40, and then there's shipping on top of that, so you're looking at $50 for a t-shirt. Somebody's got to be pretty committed to your organization to spend that kind of money. Shipping can kill an otherwise good product. This was probably my biggest surprise. A small, inexpensive item isn't necessarily inexpensive once it's shipped to Canada, especially if it's being made in the States. Before I add another product, I'm going to look at the delivered price, not just what it costs to manufacture it. So I learned that going along. Being Canadian makes the economics more complicated. Where an item is produced, whether it's crossing the border, whether Etsy is collecting tax, what Printful charges me, what currency everything's being considered in, all of that matters. And I hadn't appreciated how quickly it gets complicated. So take that into account. I'm fairly fortunate. I've got a GST number in Canada for a sole proprietorship, so I can use that. But I'm looking into other ways to try and reduce some costs. The artwork has to work for manufacturing, not just look good on a computer. So a PNG file that looks good on YouTube isn't necessarily the file you want for your merchandise. So I learned that. Luckily, I've got a graphic artist friend who's agreed to do some work for me on a paid basis. And I'll be working with her on my logo and making sure that I've got vector graphics going forward. So your brand needs to look good everywhere. Once I created the logo for Above and Beyond look, I realized that the YouTube banner, the Etsy banner, the shop logo, the product graphics, and everything else should look like they belong to the same company. So I've gone ahead and used that, and you'll see it on my channel. You'll start seeing it in the Etsy store if you go there. I'm looking at the merch store on Amazon at the moment for some other alternatives. So that's another bonus going forward. Mock-ups aren't the same as holding a product. So you can do all the mock-ups you want, excuse me, and it still might not look as good as you need it to for selling the actual items. So that's something. And the last thing, last but not least, you can spend hours worrying about things that don't matter yet. I caught myself worrying about optimizing a store that had essentially no customers yet. And that's something that I need to get over. Is okay, we'll build this slowly. It's not like 10,000 people are going to try and buy my shirts. I did find a really cool site for challenge coins. You got to order those by 50 or 100, and they're about $11 each. So I'm debating whether I want to put $1,200 out of pocket and make kind of a cool Above and Beyond challenge coin. I think they look awesome. So I'm waiting for a call back from that company. So the biggest thing I've learned is that starting a business isn't actually the hard part anymore. Technology makes that remarkably easy. The hard part's creating something that people actually want. And that kind of goes for videos as well. People want some videos that teach them something, and you have to have basically the hook. You've got to have some curiosity behind it. And I've learned a lot about making some videos as well as making storefronts. So hopefully that'll help you out in consideration if you're thinking of trying to start a drop shipping company. Join me again next time on Above and Beyond. I've got a cool interview coming up tomorrow afternoon with another ex-fighter pilot. We'll have some stories on that. Thanks.